Hello, welcome back to our channel. I'm Rupali Shah, a blockchain developer and your instructor at Newton School. So today's agenda would be looking into array more deeply. We will be looking how we can initialize the array, how we can declare the values, how we can push the values, remove a value, and so on. And with that, we will be also covering a little bit about modifiers. So modifier is something that we will be covering in the second part of the video. First, let's discuss about array and let's just create an array and just initialize values in it. So we will be moving to our Remix IDE. But before that, I want you to introduce Newton School. And Newton School is basically an edtech company which provides you courses to become a full stack developer. So recently, we are coming with a batch that will start from January. So the link of that particular batch is in the description, and if you want to join Newton School, then this is the perfect timing, and you can just start your career in full stack developer. So yeah, let's start with today's agenda and let's begin with this initializing arrays first. So yeah, don't forget to visit the link in the description. That will help you to land on their particular site. So this is lecture 5. Let's have that. And let's grab the Solidity version and the license from our previous lectures. And yeah, let's just begin. So let's declare the contract. Let's give this value of lecture 5. Let's call this contract lecture 5. And yeah, let's get started. So there are various ways. So various ways to declare to initialize basically an array. So let's begin with the first way, which is like dynamic array. You just declare the type of the array you want. Suppose I want uint type array, and yeah, we will be having some square brackets, and we will be giving this a name. So let's have a name ARR, and yeah, that's it. So this is the first way to declare an array. Now the second way is to declare an array with values. So let's create another variable and let's just assign some values in it. So it's 1, 2, 3, something like that. Now there is third way. These two ways were the dynamic type of arrays, but now we will be having static arrays. Like how you can declare an array with fixed size. Fixed size particularly means that this array could contain only this amount of values. So for that we can have the brackets and the value will be in the bracket. So suppose if you want four values in particular array, then you declare this you can give 4 in the square brackets, and arrays has indexes from 0 to n minus 1 to n minus 1, and this n is basically the value which we have given over here. So let's give this a name of ARR 2. Yeah, so this were some types of some ways you can use to initialize an array. Now let's just make every type public, so that when we declare this particular array we could extract the values from it. Yeah, let's make it public, and then we will be compiling this particular program. Let's just get started. So yeah, we compiled the program and it showed us a green tick. So we can go to the deploy tab and we can use the JavaScript VM to deploy our lecture 5 contract. So it's been deployed and we are like able to see the three variables ARR1 and ARR2. And the most tricky thing is that you can't just simply click on this variable and you can just get all the values. You need to specify the index, that which value you need to extract. So since we are not having any value in our first array, we will be having 0 as a result. Okay, so they have reverted the transaction to the initial state because, okay, the called function should be payable if you need send values. Okay, let's just go with the second one, I guess. Yeah. So the problem is that I thought that if we just declare an array, then it will be having zero as an initial values, but it will be giving us a error because we have not assigned any values in our particular array. So yeah, that's why our transaction gets reverted. Now in the second one, as soon as I go with this zeroth index, it gave me the one value which was stored at the first, which was the part of the array's first value. Now if I will be having one, then it will be giving us two, and if I would be having two, then it will be giving us three. Now with the second one also we will be having the same problem. Okay, with the second one we didn't have the problem. With the first one we just have the problem. So yeah, here is a catch, and that particular catch is that when you specify the memory, like when you specify the amount of storage you want for a particular array to the compiler, it will assign the initial value of that particular type, and it will provide, like it will give you four memory spaces, and in those four memory spaces the default value will be stored. Suppose this would be a bool type, then here the false value will be stored for the four memory spaces, and that's why we are having, like having 0 over here for all the four indexes, 0, 1, 2, and 3. But in our previous example, in the ARR example, we didn't specify any type, like how much memory we want from the compiler, and that's why it didn't assign any of the values to us. I'm saying values. Yeah, it didn't give any output. Instead of that, it reverted our whole process. So yeah, that was a bit about array initialization. Now you can just declare the array with the help of its indexes. So suppose we have a function over here. Let's create a function, and let's say, okay, set function, and over here let's make it a public function so that we can call this from our tab. And yeah, let's say that we want ARR 0 to be 5. So this is how we can initialize, like give values to an array, and one way to give value is use the push function. So let's push for in this particular array. So let's just save it. Let's go to our deploy tab, and let's deploy our contract again because we have made the changes. So let's open our new deployed version of the contract, and let's say, okay, set the values. So when we are setting the values, it gave us an error. Now this error arised because, okay, it's giving us the same problem that we have not given any value. So let's just save this again, and let's deploy our version of contract again. Now let's check the set function. So yeah, I was again trying to extract zeroth index, because this one was to update the value of an array, not to give values to an array. That's why this was giving us a error. But instead, if we used push function, we get the result. So now let's use the zeroth index, and this will give us 4 over. Now this was like how you can insert a value. Now to delete a value, we can have another function, and let's say like del function to delete. Let's make this public, and here we will be using pop. So this will basically remove the last element of our array. Now let's deploy another version of this particular contract, and in that particular version, let's first extract the zeroth index of ARR. Okay, first let's set the value, then let's extract the value, and after that, if I am using delete function, del function, then we won't be able to extract the value of ARR0 because now our array is empty. So yeah, that was a bit intro about some of the functions of arrays, the inbuilt functions of array that Solidity provide us, and how we can manipulate the array and initialize it or set values with it. So now let's move to the second part of our video, which was modifiers, like how we can use modifiers and what are the like benefits of using modifiers. So, before moving to modifiers, I also want to show you this particular line. If I am using array 2 instead of array 1, then this function won't revert our transaction. Let's try it. So, let's deploy the another version of our Solidity contract. And yeah, before that, let's just delete every version uh, so that it's more clear to us. Now let's use the set function. Our transaction was successfully carried out, and if I'm gonna go to this ARR2 and if I want to extract the zeroth value, I would be able to see a 5 as a result, which we have stored using this particular line. So yeah, that's what something I want to show you. Now we can move to the modifier part. So modifiers are the special functions in Solidity, and they basically helps you to like set your create your own modifiers. Like we have public modifiers which help you to like access the function outside your contracts also. Same way you can your own particular modifiers, and you can see that how you can use that particular modifier to control your functions behavior. So yeah, let's just have modifiers. Okay, I should write Solidity with it. Yeah, let's just have the syntax of this particular modifier. So yeah, you use the modifier word, then you give the modifier name, like what you will be using it as a name, and then you just use this require statement to create this particular modifier. So let's grab this and let's move to the remix ID. Let's have paste it, and now let's use it. So I'm saying that we want a modifier for numbers. So yeah, we can give this any name, and I'm saying that we have one integer. So let's give this one integer n, and its value is like right now 10. So I'm saying that if n is equals to 10, then please carry out the particular function, or else you won't be able to carry out that particular function. So yeah, let's create a function. Let's give this a name of test function for modifier. We are testing our modifier basically. Let's make it public, and with the public we also want this to be a num type, and you will be getting what I want to tell you. Just give me few seconds. Now I'm saying let's make n is equals to 20 after this particular function. So let's just compile it. So we have successfully compiled our particular contract. Now go to the deploy tab. Let's delete the other version of our contract. Let's deploy the new version, and we have this test modifier tab. Now as soon as I will be like clicking test modifiers, you can see that we get a green tick and we were able to execute our function. So to check it, let's make this public. I should do this before only, but no issues. Let's again deploy the contract. Yeah. So when I am gonna click on n, we have value 10, and as soon as I am clicking on test modifiers, it get executed. And now, and when I'm clicking on n, it's 20. So we told our particular contract that if your n is 10, then only you can use this test modifiers, or else you won't be able to use this test modifiers function. So now, after executing our test modifier for one time, we were able to see that now n is 20, it is not 10. So now if I am gonna use test modifiers, it will give us an error. So let's see that if our error is coming or not, if it's working the way we want or not. So yeah, this were the things, like the way you can declare a modifier. So let's give to test it, and as soon as I click on this test modifier button, it just reverted our particular transaction. It didn't carry out this transaction, and this transactions were not able to successfully executed. So yeah, this is how you can use modifier. You can basically have a check on particular function, that whether this function needs to be executed or it won't be able to execute. So that's it for today, guys. I hope you enjoyed this video and learned something new out of it. And don't forget to subscribe this channel. Click on the bell icon to get the daily updates of all the videos coming up on this channel. So thank you, guys.